Okay, so welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now what should we talk about today? The coronation. Nah, too boring. Trains, but that's coming up next weekend. So let's talk about buses. So here is how Buses of Somerset are stacking up at the moment and how really rubbish they're doing. So let's start off with the positives. Well, as you would expect, most of their buses are lean, and they have gone and rebranded some of their double-deckers, as you saw in the last clip. Also, a bit more of their buses have been painted or rebranded into their corporate green identity. However, some of them still haven't. Yes, I know we're talking about the positives of Buses of Somerset, but a lot of their buses still aren't in the corporate green identity, even though they have been in quite a few green liveries since 2014? What? Well, here I'm on a Millennium line. They have 2 of these, even though bus time says there's 1. I've seen 2 in the depot. So, yeah. But this is a classic case of where the bus is still in the old colours. However, they haven't replaced it, which is actually quite good in my opinion. Although it's very noisy, rattly, and sometimes even dirty, it's still quite a nice feature to every now and again go on this bus, and it is coming up more and more often over the coming weeks. But anyway, the Buses of Somerset have always pretty much had a problem with rebranding, so let's just go through the history of the rebranding. Okay, so when it was first Buses of Somerset, and originally first Somerset and Avon, they were in the first Barbie colours, just like all the other first bus companies. However, as Somerset went into its own identity and the Avon bit was transferred over to first Bristol, the colours started to change around. Okay, so by this point the first Olympia livery had been rolled out across most of the first group bus franchises. However, the Buses of Somerset was one of the first bus franchises to form its own identity and logos, with them being apples, because Somerset is known for its farms for some reason. The first Olympia livery was sort of adapted for a while before a full livery was implemented on most of their buses. So for a while the buses looked like this. But anyway, time goes by, and by 2020 a full livery had been implemented, and all of their double-deckers that had the new livery implemented was scrapped because of COVID. So they just spent a whole load of money repainting their buses, and about a year or 2 later they went for scrap. But yeah, there are still a few little odd single-decker buses though that do have the old livery, such as this one. But anyway, time to move on. And after COVID, first Bristol decided to get the world's most ugliest buses, the right street deck, to replace their XL Enviro 400 buses. The XL was originally called Express Yourself and operated express bus service between Weston and Bristol. However, that was renamed to XL, still using the same buses, just a different livery. But now it's going part of the Badger Line franchise thingy, which has been brought back after quite a few years of being dead. So, guess what? We got second-hand buses from First Bristol. This is what you get for buying second-hand buses, Somerset. It breaks down. To be fair to Buses of Somerset though, they have done a pretty good job of refurbishing some of these XXL buses. But there are still quite a few hanging about in the orange colours. Oh yeah, and we also got spare Enviro 400 in the Coast to Coast livery from Kerno, because guess what? They got new Enviro 400 MMC buses, but we didn't have any money, so we get all the spare junk. Anyway, yeah, let's see what happens next. Well, as it turns out, the Exmoor coaster has something to do with all of this. Well, Our Scania Omni-City open-top buses aren't doing very well, or they weren't. So they've been complemented by quite a few other open-top buses from Kerno, because yet again, they have got quite a few new open-top buses from Alexander Dennis. But at least it means you get a nice variety. However, until a couple of weeks ago, they were still in the old liveries, so it said Land's End Coaster. However, now they all say Exmoor Coaster. But you'll be lucky if you find one of the Scania Omni-Cities. As we're still talking about the positives, I know I said they're doing pretty bad, but there are still quite a few positives left. Because oh dear. Yes, I keep getting attacked by this horrible cough. But anyway, that ain't gonna stop me from making these videos. A great positive is that because Buses of Somerset is run by First, which is a humongous company with many franchises across England, Wales and Scotland, as well, they operate the TransLink bus and rail services in Northern Ireland. They are now part of the £2 government franchise thingy, which means it's very cheap. The only problem this has is although the buses get very busy, how do they get enough money to operate all of the buses? Okay, so now on to the negatives. Now, one humongous problem with Buses of Somerset in particular is how late their buses can be. Sometimes they can even cut them out without any warning, unless you've got internet and you think about going on Twitter and Facebook half the time. This is not good, but when Buses of Somerset have no money, what can they do? Because they don't have any destination boards or anything like that to tell you that your bus is late. Now, this is pretty much the only downside I have. There are a couple other things which I want to talk about, but lateness is the main negative here. Okay, so on to a few more negatives now. I get the bus home from school, yes, the 21, because Taunton Road is just down from my school, and Paula is on the 21. So yeah, fun, pay the driver £2, all I get. It never goes as smoothly as that, apart from on a Friday. Yeah, it seems to be a running theme here. Friday seems to be the best day. But, probably about a week ago now, there was a fatality at Taunton. Somebody fell in the road. My bus was on time, yet it was short-formed, only going to Bridgewater. The bus after that, running late, and was also only going to Bridgewater. It was only the bus after that, which is the once-a-day bus to Rooksbridge, which meant it was already busy. All the passengers of the two short-formed buses now had to get on this bus, even more busy. It was the once-a-day bus towards Burnham and Rooksbridge that stops at the college. Even more busy. It was full to the brim, I can tell you that much now. Also, another problem is the drivers and, I've only came across this recently. It wasn't yesterday, but it was last Wednesday. Basically, I pressed the bell to get off at my stop. The driver obviously didn't hear it. He went past my stop, so I went down the stairs, pressed the bell at the bottom. He skipped the stop after mine, and actually stopped on the main road. So I crossed the main road, was not having to get crushed by big lorries in the process, and had to get the bus going the other way. So, drivers, please listen out for the bing or the beep that the bells make, because, I don't fancy having to walk across a big main road and having to spend £4 instead of £2. But anyway, that's enough of me waffling on. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next weekend, where I should be in somewhere beginning with an S, and also somewhere that begins with a P, that has a similar name to a swimming pool. I wonder if you can guess. Goodbye.